Good morning, loves. Hello. Happy Thursday. It is October the 5th. My name is PK. This is Bookeemonsters. And today we will be looking at the new releases this week in the genre of fantasy and sci fi. And if there's time, we'll do some cozy mysteries. We'll see what happens. I thank you very much for coming here. If you are liking what you're seeing, please hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already. So, welcome or welcome back if you are a returner. Let's hop into this. First, we will go to just a quick update on what I am reading. I am listening to the audiobook still of The Running Grave by Robert Galbraith. I am at in the 30% range, and I'm reading The Villa by Rachel Hawkins. That's a standalone, and I'm at 16%, I believe it said. So I'm enjoying both very much. Yeah, let's see. 36% in the Galbraith and 16% on the Hawkins. Let's hop into some fantasy new releases. I'm going to pause that while we're doing that. Okay. This is according to bookriot.com, and they are having, that's a duplicate, nine in fantasy this week. First one here, After the Forest by Kel Woods. After the Forest is a dark and enchanting fantasy debut that explores the repercussions of a childhood filled with magic and a young woman contending with the truth of happily ever after. Ginger, honey, cinnamon, flower. 20 years after the witch in the gingerbread house, Greta and Hans are struggling to get by. Their mother and stepmother are long dead. Hans is deeply in debt from gambling, and the countryside lies in ruin, its people starving in the aftermath of a brutal war. Greta has a secret, though. The witch's grimoire, secreted away and whispering in Greta's ear for the past 2 decades, and the recipe inside that makes the best gingerbread you've ever tasted. As long as she can bake, Greta can keep her small family afloat. But in a village full of superstition, Greta and her mysteriously addictive gingerbread, not to mention the rumors of her childhood misadventures, is a source of gossip and suspicion. And now dark magic is returning to the woods, and Greta's magic she is still trying to understand, may be the only thing that can save her if it doesn't kill her first. Don't care for the cover of that one. This one's kind of interesting. Curious Tides by Pascal Lascelles. Emery might be a student at the prestigious Aldrin College for Lunar Magics, but her healing abilities have always been mediocre at best, until a treacherous night in the Dovermere Sea Caves leaves a group of her classmates dead, and her as the only survivor. Now Emery is plagued by strange impossible powers that no healer should possess, powers that would ruin her life if the wrong person were to discover them. To gain control of these new abilities, Emery enlists the help of the school's most reclusive student, Baz, a boy already well versed in the deadly nature of darker magic, whose sister happened to be one of the drowned students and Emery's best friend. Determined to find the truth behind the drownings and the cult-like secret society she's convinced her classmates were involved in, Emery is faced with even more questions when the supposedly drowned students start washing ashore alive, only for them each immediately to die horrible magical deaths. Okay, this does not sound fun. And Emery is not the only one seeking answers. When her new magic captures the society's attention, she finds herself drawn into their world of privilege and power, all while wondering if the truth she's searching for might lead her back to Dovermere to face the fate she was never meant to escape. Is it just me? Seems like all fantasy anymore is either a Hunger Games copy of a trial, a competition, or an individual, typically a girl, is discovering powers, wanting to become, hiding from powers. Whatever happened to the good old-fashioned epic fantasy where you've got a group of people going on a quest? That's all I want. Night of the Witch by Sarah Rosh and Beth Rebus. Fritzi is a witch, the only survivor of a brutal attack on her coven. She's determined to bring the Hexenjagers, zealot witch hunters, to justice for the lives they ended. Otto is a Hexenjager, but that's just his cover. He and his sister Hilda have been planning their move against the witch hunters for years as a way to avenge their mother, who was wrongfully burned. When Otto and Hilda take the first step in their bid to destroy the Hexenjagers from within, Fritzi mistakes Hilda for an innocent victim, and her errant protection spell backfires, casting Hilda into the magical ether and painting Fritzi as an undeniable witch. Otto is forced to arrest her, his plan for revenge in tatters, and his sister missing, while Fritzi is now a prisoner of the very organization she fears most. Unwilling to trust each other, Fritzi and Otto can't deny they have a common enemy. They team up to stop the Hexenjagers and find Hilda. Their quest takes them from the oldest city in Germany to the heart of the Black Forest, through hidden aqueducts to magic well springs. As truths come to light and trust shifts, Fritzi and Otto uncover a far more horrifying plot at the center of the Hexenjager attacks. But their own growing feelings for each other may be the most powerful magic of all. Save Us Corax deals with the dead. Are you sure this is fantasy? There's no formal training for battlefield salvage. You just have to pick things up as you go along. Swords, this is by KJ Parker. Swords, armor, arrows, and the bodies, of course. Over the years, Savus, I'm probably saying that wrong, so I apologize. Corax has picked up a lot of things. Some of them have made him decent money, others have brought nothing but trouble, but it's a living, and somebody has to deal with the dead. Something else that Savus has buried is his past. Unfortunately, he didn't quite succeed. Good morning, Annalise. How are you? Or good afternoon. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Do you read a lot of fantasy? I think I need to read it. Ah. Probably. You are lucky. You get books in more than one language. More to devour. Nom nom. Shield Maiden by Sharon Emmerichs. Both epic and intimate, Shield Maiden is the brilliantly imagined retelling of Beowulf from the perspective of a fierce young woman reclaiming her power. All her life, Frida has longed to be a shield maiden, an honor reserved for Yetland's mightiest warriors. When a childhood accident leaves her tragically injured and unfit for the battlefield, her dreams are dashed, or so she thinks. But a strange, unfathomable power is awakening within her, a power that will soon be put to test. But for when foreign lords and chieftains descend upon Frida's home to celebrate her uncle King Beowulf's 50-year reign, she realizes not all their guests come with good intentions. Treachery is afoot, and Frida must gather her courage to fight for her people, as a queen should, as a shield maiden would, and as only Frida can. But as Frida's power grows stronger, something ancient hears its call. For buried deep in her gilded lair, a dragon awakens, and Frida must prove herself once and for all. Very good. Silence and Shadow. Sorry, copies required. By Aaron Beattie. Fantasy young adult. This is a sequel to Blood and Moonlight, full of swoony romance, dangerous magic, and murder. After confronting a killer and fleeing her home to be with each other, Kat and Simon arrive in the sprawling city of Londonium, pretending to be a newly married couple, but don't expect to keep up the ruse for long. Kat looks forward to honing her healing magic at the local Selene University, but instead finds a council of ruthless leaders threatening to erase her non-Selene husband's memories to protect their secrets. Terrified to lose him, Kat takes desperate steps to keep him safe. But when a string of mutilated bodies turns up in the woods outside the city, and Simon is recruited to profile the killer, Kat is pulled back into a world of murder, mayhem, and magic, one that threatens to swallow her and everything she loves whole. Alex Harrow, Starling House. But here she's called Starling. I trust the cover. I think it's Starling House. Yeah, me too. I dream sometimes about a house I've never seen. Opal is a lot of things: orphan, high school dropout, full time cynic, and part time cashier, but above all, she's determined to find a better life for her younger brother Jasper. One that gets them out of Eden, Kentucky, a town remarkable for only two things: bad luck and E. Starling, the reclusive 19th century author of The Underland who disappeared over 100 years ago. All she left behind were dark rumors and her home. Everyone agrees that it's best to ignore the uncanny mansion and its misanthropic heir, Arthur. Almost everyone, anyway. I should be scared, but in the dream, I don't hesitate. Opal has been obsessed with the Underland since she was a child. When she gets the change to step inside the charge? I don't know, inside Starling House and make some extra cash for her brother's escape fund, she can't resist. But sinister forces are digging deeper into the buried secrets of Starling House, and Arthur's own nightmares have become far too real. As Eden itself seems to be drowning in its own ghosts, Opal realizes she might finally have found a reason to stick around. In my dream, I'm home, and now she'll have to fight. Welcome to Starling House. Enter if you dare. Yeah, I don't think I dare. The Dead Take the A Train by Cassandra Khaw and Richard Kadri. A new story with magic monsters and mayhem, perfect for fans of Neil Gaiman and Joe Hill. So it's kind of horror-ish. Not surprised with the title. Julie is a coked-up, burnt-out 30-year-old whose only retirement plan is dying early. She's been trying to establish herself in the New York City magic scene, and she'll work the most gruesome gigs, exorcise the nastiest demons, and make deals with the cruelest gods to claw her way to the top. But nothing can prepare her for the toughest job yet. When her best friend Sarah shows up at her door in need of help, keeping Sarah safe becomes top priority. Julie is desperate for a quick fix to break the dead-end grind and save her friend. But her power grab sets off a deadly chain of events that puts Sarah and the entire world directly in the path of annihilation. Looks like this is the first in duology. Not my cuppa. That's okay. There's lots of cuppas out there for people. The Scandalous Confessions of Lydia Bennet, Witch, by Linda Taub. Reimagining a Pride and Prejudice, as they do. Told from the perspective of the troublesome and, according to her, much maligned youngest Bennet sister, Lydia, who nobody likes. Some facts are well known. Mrs. Bennet suffers from her nerves, Mr. Bennet suffers from Mrs. Bennet, and all five daughters suffer from an estate that is entailed only to male heirs. But Lydia also suffers from entirely different concerns. Her best-loved sister, Kitty, is really a barn cat. Wickham is every bit as wicked as the world believes him to be, but what else could one expect from a demon? And if Mr. Darcy is uptight about etiquette, that's nothing compared to his feelings about magic. Most of all, Lydia has yet to learn that for a witch, promises have power. Okay. Let's move on. Okay. Let's hop into some science fiction. Let's switch things up a little bit. Kindle Unlimited, under 200 pages. The Outbreak, a science fiction series. The Survive Saga, Book 1 by Samuel Morris Jr. is a story of a group fighting for survival. The world outside has grown dangerous. The power is out, and with inconceivable threats lurking, chances of survival are slim. Allegheny's citizens are sitting ducks in the worst blizzard in 39 years, but there's always hope. Hope comes in the form of 3 everyday citizens and a lieutenant from the local police force. Their goal is simple: protect each other and save the city. After the attack begins, James, a banker from the Middle District, is inexplicably thrown into the center of a fight between glowing creatures called Reapers and an entity known as the Agency. While working with powerful new friends, James becomes entrenched in a matter more complex than he could have imagined. Digging deeper may uncover the truth, or it could kill every person in the city. Again, can we not just be out in space? Humans in space. Just give me a story about humans in space. I must be cranky this morning. I bet more coffee is required. It's Book one of the Singularity Chronicles by Michael Woodenberg. In the battle over advanced AI, we will lose our humanity or learn what truly makes us. Will we lose our humanity or learn what truly makes us human? Kira and Noah face a choice. Do they follow in their father's footsteps, advancing artificial intelligence to allow their dying mother to live on? Or do they let her rest in peace and step away from the technology that is dividing humanity? Let her go. That's what the soul is about. Okay. Kira knows her choice and follows her vision to make a sentient AI that captures all of who her mother was. Her path challenges her commitment as she weaves together biology, psychology, philosophy, and robotics, working with world-class scientists to unlock the complexity of the human mind and achieve technological singularity. Her brother Noah follows his own vision of humanity, stepping back from advanced technology. He wants to return to an existence focusing on natural connections, but not the artificial world of computers and virtual reality. He leads a team of elite resistance fighters to defend humanity against the dangers of AI, yet finds himself questioning which side is right. In the chaotic battle that ensues, will they lose their humanity or will they learn what truly makes them human? They face a paradox with no easy answers. Fortress by Lars. Kindle Unlimited, less than 200 pages. There's no easy way out. Plagued by cold and life-ending tremors, humanity dwindles out of existence in the last known human outpost in a far-forgotten alien world. Once a tribute to life and perseverance, the mammoth structure they shelter in is failing as its engineers scramble to keep it afloat. Warmth Jega is one of the few who still dare to dream of a world outside, of one day reaching the stars and going back to those forgotten worlds. Inspired by the feats of the legendary ship Sardinia and its crew, Warmth begins to believe that change is possible, but in order to enact change, he must first shatter all that keeps them alive. In less than 200 pages. Well, Murderbot is a novella. I shouldn't slam it. Sci-fi is cool. I love sci-fi. It's just hard to find good sci-fi anymore. That's what I say. Princess of Dune. Dune, the original, was the first sci-fi I read. It was in junior high, which would have been the early 80s. Princess of Dune. So this must be about Erlan, by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson. Set 2 years before Dune. Okay, whatever. Told of two key women in the life of Paul Muad'Dib, Princess Urlan, his wife in name only, and Paul's true love, the Fremen Chani. Both women become central to Paul's galaxy-spanning imperial reign. Raised in the imperial court and born to be a political bargaining chip, Urlan was sent at an early age to be trained as a Bene Gesserit sister. As Princess Royal, she also learned important lessons from her father, the Padishah Emperor Shaddam Corrino IV. Now of marriageable age, Princess Urlan sees the machinations of the many factions vying for power: the Bene Gesserit Sisterhood, the Spacing Guild, the Imperial Throne, and a ruthless rebellion in the Imperial military. The young woman has a wise and independent streak and is determined to become much more than a pawn to be moved about on anyone's game board. Meanwhile, on Arrakis, Chani, the daughter of Liet Kynes, the imperial planetologist who serves under the harsh rule of House Harkonnen, is trained in the Fremen mystical ways by an ancient Reverend Mother. Brought up to believe in her father's ecological dream of a green Arrakis, she follows Liet around to imperial testing stations, surviving the many hazards of desert life. Chani soon learns the harsh cost of Fremen dreams and obligations under the oppressive boot heel of the long Harkonnen occupation. This is what I'm talking about. More of this, please. But I have not read, some of them are on my TBR, but to be honest, I have not read all of the Sun's world of Dune, shall we call it? I should. Like I say, I do have a couple on my TBR. Real sci-fi, yes. Oh, I have opinions. Mercenaries Escape by Stacey Osvet, first in a series. An unwilling assassin, a stranger with the keys to his cell, the start of a revolution. Dural and his unit have been prisoners on an alien ship for as long as they can remember, forced to execute the enemies of their captors to earn their daily food rations. But when his latest mark knows more than should be possible, Dural finds himself at the head of a revolt for freedom, the first book in an exciting military sci-fi series that proves you can separate a unit, but you can never keep them apart. If you like adventure, factions, and proving that humanity can't be repressed, pick up Mercenaries Escape to discover this exciting new series today. But you only did it in 222 pages. Makes me suspect. We're about out of time, but here are some more. Oh, let's do this one super duper quick. We skipped over it. The Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco. Sinner, villain, wicked. The Prince of Envy has never claimed to be a saint, but when a cryptic note arrives signaling the beginning of a deadly game, he knows it will take more than a hint of sin to win and save his falling demon court. Riddles, hex objects, anonymous players, nothing will stand in his way, though none of his meticulous plans prepare him for her, the frustrating artist who ignites his sin like no other. Virtuous, darling, liar. The trouble with scoundrels and blackguards is that they haven't a modicum of honor, a fact Miss Camilla Antonius learns after one desperate mistake allows Waverly Green's most notorious rake to blackmail her. To avoid a ruinous scandal, Camilla is forced to enter a devil's bargain with Envy, little expecting his game will awaken her true nature. Together, Envy and Camilla must embark on a perilous journey through the underworld, from glittering demon courts to the sultry vampire realm and beyond, while trying to avoid the most dangerous trap of all, falling in love. Blah, blah. Yeah, I must be feeling kind of snarky this morning. And what's with the pages? Like the lack of them? Exactly. I think they're rushing to publication or something. I don't know. Fantasy and sci-fi should be like, nah. Okay. Roll on. I think I'm gonna have to have a lot of coffee today because it's only Thursday. It's not the weekend yet. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this. Annalise, thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you everybody who's might be watching it on replay. I appreciate you guys so much. We do have reading sprints tonight, regularly scheduled. Um, I hear you. Thank goodness. Somebody crying in the wilderness. Sprints tonight at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be going for 2.5 hours per usual. Bring your own book, work on a craft or hobby, or if you want to meditate, that's fine too. Tomorrow is Friday. We'll be doing another morning show at 6 in the morning, 8 in the morning Eastern Time live, or you can watch them on replay. And we will probably be looking at more cozy mysteries and maybe some straight fiction if it catches our attention. We'll see what happens. So hope you guys have a very good Thursday. Be safe, be happy. Coffee is required. It's okay to put down a book if you're not enjoying it because you don't get good person points to struggle through something you are not liking. You're just wasting your time. I give you permission. Set it down. There's lots of good books out there. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day. God bless.